Hey guys,
Welcome back to our channel, The Real McCoy's Kingdom.
what's up?
What's up? Alright, today we're going to hit you with another video, and this one is going to be how did we,
First meet.
how we first met, story time. So to start it off, we want to thank you guys for joining us, and hopefully by now we can welcome you guys into our kingdom again. Everybody is welcome. We don't discriminate. We don't hate.
Shout out to the dupes, the duchess,
The prince, the princesses,
the sirs, the misses.
the kings and queens. And that's those who working to building something. So
Yep.
again, we're building. So we feel like we are a kingdom. I'm the king, and
I'm the king. Well, she
Uh, oh really? I'm the queen, and he's my king. Sometimes I'll mix things up because it just be so funny sometimes. But again, it's most times I'm used to being the one that talks a lot. He talks not around me, but he talks. Don't let him. Don't get on here talking about, oh, Terry seems very shy again. Terry's not shy. Oh, and if you didn't know our names because you didn't catch the introduction video, please go watch the introduction video that we uploaded.
again. And again, and again, and again, and again.
Give
You're like
the
the
video.
Energizer Bunny.
Keep going. Give the video a thumbs up. Click that bell, turn on those notifications, and please subscribe to our channel.
And we're gonna keep it real.
We're gonna keep it real. Very real too, guys. But again, Terry and I'm Kizzy. And how did we meet? We met September of 2013.
13.
But that's not what led us to marriage, really. And that's why in the introduction video, again, if you didn't watch it, go watch it. That's why I said love at first sight. Because when we first met, we was introduced to each other by a friend of mine and a family of his.
Yeah.
We must say we was very close friends. Again, we was working together, and I'm not gonna say I was out there just being bad, but I was being hot where I was just having friend guys, and she's married. She's a married woman, so therefore I have single friends and I have married friends, and they would always, it would be different stories. Like I'm telling y'all, you kind of have to. That saying is true. Birds of a feather flock together. You kind of have to watch the company you keep for real, because sometimes when you if you're friends with somebody who's single, you're gonna do single things, and if you're friends with somebody who's married, you're gonna do married things. So I'm kind of like the type of person. I've always been known as the good girl, so I can get along with everybody. I'm not gonna be the bad influencer, and vice versa. Same with him, he can say too. So again, she will be like, I'm talking because this part he don't know. And he'll come right in like double dutch, jump right in. But anyway, he said she was like, I was kind of like talking to this guy as a friend, and it was just kind of like he liked me, but it seemed like he liked me behind closed doors. And you already know how it already goes. If you are a big girl, these guys do like you. They find you pretty. Oh, they treat you good behind closed doors. But that's most of the guys I dated. This guy, he liked me or whatever, because he would always blow my phone up when we get off work. We work together too. And he would always blow my phone up, whenever I leave work, like, what's up, what you doing? And he'll come over and hang out, whatever like that. So anyway, when I remember I got sick, and he really wasn't there for me. And his cousin, two red birds, we're outside. So I believe in two red birds.
She's superstitious.
Kiss them, okay, sorry back. And his cousin was like, I guess her being a married woman, she was doing the right godly thing by I don't want to say pushing, to kind of pushing potential, meaning like she can't agree with, like the whole boyfriend girlfriend type thing. She was more like all for being with somebody, because this is perspective of a married woman versus the single friends I had who were just in relationships, and they would be like, do what you do, So she was just like, I think I got somebody for you, because she already knew the type of person I was. She's like, I think I got somebody for you. I got my cousin, Terry. So I said, when you want to know something about somebody, what you say, he got a Facebook. That's what I asked her. She's like, yeah, I think Terry got a Facebook. So me. After she told me his name, I'm like, what's his last name? So she was like, McCoy. So I said, okay, just like that. So I don't know if she texted you that same day.
Nope.
Oh, well, maybe she didn't text that same day, but she texted during that week, though. She had to have texted during that week, because I remember she said, I asked her the next day at work, did she talk to you? But anyway, in the midst of that, I went home and I looked this name up on Facebook to see if he had a Facebook page, just so I can go through some pictures and look him up. Anyway, I did. I'm going to be honest and say, not saying nothing to bash him like that. But what I'm saying is, I was used to dating, like, I wouldn't say thugs. He said it all the time, but he don't know my story. It wasn't really thugs. It was because I really didn't like people who said. So that couldn't have been true, because that irked my nerve. And it was a certain image.
I could have said thuggish.
I mean, I don't know if it would be hood or thuggish or hardcore type men. I don't know.
I
don't know. I don't want to give a stereotypical name to a black man. However, I just like a certain type of man that wasn't him.
Yeah.
Well, he had some features. That's when you have to get to know somebody.
No,
You did
I look like a nerd.
You did have some features that I like, that I could say. Anyway, I went to his Facebook page and I saw what I liked. So therefore, whatever, you do not know whether or not whatever the thought it may have been, or what I dated, or who I thought I liked, God knew different. Again, I went on his Facebook page and I saw a couple pictures. Like, he's very old school. He's very old soul school to me.
What's wrong with that?
I'm not saying nothing wrong. I just said I'm not bashing him. I'm just giving the real tea of our relationship, how it went. He's very old school. So I'm just like, okay, that means I'm thinking the guys that open doors, the guys that if it was a rain portal, he'll put his jacket down and I step on it. Isn't that chivalry?
It's shivery. It's shivery. It's shivery.
We argue about that word correctly but different. But like I was saying, he's very old school. And I remember thinking that may be a good thing, because that means, guess what? He may know how to treat a lady. So, I think at that point she had already texted him and told him, hey, I got somebody I want you to meet. And she had said, I got somebody I want you to meet. And because I think I went to work the next day, and she said, I told my cousin about you, and I was like, oh, you did? What'd he say? So she was like, I ain't telling you all that. You'll have to find out. But he said he was going to talk to you. Need I mind you, we didn't have each other's numbers, but he did. I think he wrote me on Facebook.
I did.
Obviously, he was looking for my name too, because he asked her. She said he asked for my name.
I did.
And yeah, so from that point, me asking, did you tell him about it? Now he can insert his part as to how it led up to him ending up in my messenger, or what she said to him. Because like I said, that was what happened on my end. Now he can tell you about what happened on his end, about how we got to each other's inbox, and then we'll get to the first date.
Well, during this time, I was going through my ups and down relationship. It was complicated. It was. And at church, my cousin, I had went to church one day, and she was asking me, was me and this other person still together? And I told her, it's kind of complicated. It's kind of rocky. And she like, well, I got this friend that I want you to meet. So later on that week, I'm trying to figure out who this other person was. And so she told me her name was Kizzy, like that. So I go on Facebook and I look her name up. This thing, you know, I look at the picture. And I laughed. I really did, like, really laughed because, like, when I went through her photos, she had on different types of wigs.
Now, he didn't laugh at me being fat. Let's correct that. It wasn't my size. He was laughing. Specifically tell them why you laughed your first thought. Cause that's what
I'm like, dog, she must don't like her own color, like her own natural hair, because she wore wigs and weave and all that. And so I asked my cousin, I'm like,
yeah, go ahead.
I was like, really? And she was like, well, she just like to wear wigs like that.
What woman don't though? What woman didn't? Well, he didn't understand it now.
But your birthday, I don't know if you was turning 31 or 32 when you had that blonde wig on.
And I think I was turning 30. That's why I did it. 30. I was beautiful.
And so I was the one that really introduced myself to her. I was gonna take a chance, even though I was going through my rocky, complicated relationship. Still, I took time to get to know her, and so we started talking from there. I hit you up on Messenger, and I got your number, and I said, hey, my name is Terry. Cousin told me about you,
Right.
And so we was let's see, the only time I got a chance to talk to you was at nighttime.
Because you were going to choir rehearsal and stuff like that.
And yeah, you got off at 8, so.
Oh yeah, at the time I was working 11 to 8:30.
Yeah.
11 to 8:30 at night. That's what he did too.
Yeah, I sang in the choir.
Yeah, he was always at choir rehearsal, Bible study, so we really didn't talk. So at that point, he ended up giving me his number and said if I need someone to talk to, just hit him up or whatever.
Yep.
So then that's how we started talking. That's how we started texting. Because from that point, it was no more texting on Messenger. We started just texting. In the camera. We started just texting each other through text message now. So he started texting me, asking me questions about, started talking to each other about, they've been talking maybe like a couple weeks or whatever, but we was going to have our first date.
Yep.
Because like I said, he was in a complicated relationship, but it wasn't like they were in a relationship. It was like they may have been separated, like, I don't know what that story was.
Because somebody wanted to take a break. It wasn't me.
So they were taking a break. That's neither here nor there with me, because like I said, I didn't know. He just said that he was single and I'm single. And we was just starting off as friends. In October, the fair comes, so I wanted to go to the fair because I love the fair. Not that I ride anything, because I'm scared of everything. I just love the thrill of going to the fair. I've never did a lot of those things because, like I said, when you settle and you just date men, little boys or whatever, when you date them and you don't really know your worth, you accept a lot, and it's kind of like you settle because you don't keep your standards there. So I can say that I settled for a lot during my single time, and I was single because to me, as long as I wasn't married, I was single. So I didn't really just date like boyfriend. I didn't have many boyfriends either by choice. Raised, like that with my mom and dad of being respected by a man. But I settled. As insecure as I was to know the whole thrill of men not wanting to be in public with women, big women, I kind of let that sit home with me a lot. So I would kind of just have this mindset of, I don't want to go anywhere. I'd rather just stay at the house. You come by or whatever like that. We chill at home. But again, that's lowering my standards because I just feel like if it was anybody else, they would be out eating, going on dates. But see, me being, a big girl, I was kind of like scared to even go places like out to eat because I don't want nobody staring at me while I'm trying to eat. That was the truth. I don't like people staring. Like, I can be the nicest person, but what triggers me in this world is the way the other people who stares at big people like we're just this walking around disease. Like, come on now. I'm just saying. He can tell you like I tell you, me being big is I'm big. Do I eat like a big person?
No.
Thank you. So just because I'm fat to, the community or the world, it don't mean, everybody out here that's fat just sit at the table and pig out. In the real world, most of the insecurities I had before dating was that. So that's why I was saying I wasn't really on topic. So that's what the insecurities came from when I was saying when I said I settled. So I didn't want to go out to eat, didn't want to go to the movies, I didn't want any of those things. I didn't feel like I needed that man to take me to none of these places, but we could just be at home, which was very, very, very crazy if I think about it now. So again, I didn't go to the fair, but I've always wanted to go to the fair. I've always wanted this and wanted that. So he said, I was telling him I've never been to the fair. This what I just told you about why I never went places with guys like that. Then I was explaining that to him, and I was like, well, I never went to the fair with a guy, and it'd be good to have a date. So he was just like, well, you want to go to the fair? And it was going to be, that Friday? Because I was off that Friday?
It was going to be that Friday.
It was going to be that Friday night. The fair was here in Laurel, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Then he said he was going to take me to the fair, and I said, okay, cool. I'm not thinking he was going to lie. I'm not thinking he was going to stand me up. I'm not thinking any of that coming from him. Because like I said, talking to him, getting to know him, you would think in your head that, they say all men are the same. But then you try to think, no, all men aren't the same. So I'm just like, he's not the same as these other guys. So I'm excited. I go back to work. I'm telling them, y'all, we supposed to go on our first date Friday. He's taking me to the fair. I'm excited. Because I'm just like, I'm just excited. It's going to be my first date. I've never been to the fair with a guy like that or anything. Period. I didn't really do dates. So then, that Friday came. No, was it that Thursday or you texted me that Friday? Did you text me? No, he texted me the day of. He texted me that Friday and said that I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to take you to the fair because my funds are low or something like that. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. It's good. We still have other dates that we can do. But on his end, it was not the truth of what he really told me. It was like he was just like, so I didn't tell anybody at the time that he said what happened, and I didn't find out what really happened to it. This is where he come in saying that the fool that he was.
Yeah, me being the fool that I am. Well, the person I was with, she was low on money and she needed some money to go to work, some gas money, like that. But instead, I could have took that money that I had, even though at this time I was going through a complicated relationship, I could have took that money and I could have went on to the fair and got to know her. But instead, me being the fool that I am, I was kind of torn. Thinking that, if I do this, we still gonna be together, or just me being the person I am was trying to keep that door open when I should have closed that door. But instead, I left that door cracked.
Yeah, and that's only because, and that's another point when it comes to, with our videos, we're gonna get story time. And it may seem like we're gonna get off subject. That's only because that's how we roll with giving advice or giving little good inspiration to people out there who could be going through something similar or have went through something similar. You be like, oh, that's me. But anyway, like I said, that proven point is that just because you may have been in a relationship with somebody for some odd years and y'all going through rocky moments, and this person or you may be the person that always putting it on ice, like, oh well, let's take a
break.
Let's take a break, or but you come back around when you need something, when it's more of the material things that you gain from somebody. You think you're looking at the numbers instead of looking at starting over. I mean, I personally took a lot of losses. Like I said, I was single. I've had my heart broken, but I've learned to never stick around. Even though I settled in a lot of situations, but I learned to never stick around. I don't care if we've been together 12 years, dating 12 years though. I'm not about to do that. Because if I feel like if I got to keep stringing you along just to tell you, hey, we're going to take some time, I just feel like that person is out there doing something else other than you. You're not their most prized possession. Don't settle. So I just feel like you can start over and meet the person that's meant for you, and that's the truth. Or you can sit there and just be going through it talking about it's going to get better, and it's not. Because it's not. I mean, that's just living proof. I'm telling you what I know. So you don't just sit there and just settle, because it's not going to get better if you frustrated about it. You prayed about it, and prayer is everything. You pray on some things, God will reveal it, which I felt like he was, because the timing couldn't have been everything. We both were praying. So I figured he was praying, but at the same time, he was stuck. Like I said, he was being foolish by thinking, oh, she'll get better, oh, she'll come around, she still love me, this, that, and the third. But that wasn't true. He keeps getting at the camera, y'all. It's like he being like he getting occupied with other stuff, playing with his leg, the keys, instead of the video. So anyway, you gotta just focus on the camera. You can't be over there twiddling outside, playing with your ring. Lord Jesus, it's like I'm in the camera because he over here, he done tuned out. Okay, well, we are back to the video. You ready?
I'm ready.
No, you over here playing with your shoes, then your socks, then your keys.
Hey.
Are you bored? Okay, no.
It's story time.
Anyway, you listen. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So, I was like, girl, no. He said that he couldn't make it because he financial whatever, but she didn't tell me the truth then. Because one thing about it is, another thing is, when you having ups and downs in a relationship, watch who you tell. Because if you mad at somebody, and if you're mad at your husband, spouse, whatever you want to call it, and you go tell your sister is literally going to feed off of that energy when she see him, and it's not going to be like, oh, he's the nice guy. She's going to automatically defend you, and vice versa. Just like if he went and told his mama's going to fend for him. So watch when y'all tell people. That's why you can keep it to yourself, or tell somebody who is not going to be biased about the situation, and they're going to just be like, I'm team nobody, I'm going to tell you the truth and tell you the truth. But it was like she didn't want to tell me, because which I respect that. She didn't want to tell me at the time, because we still was getting to know each other, and we wasn't like we was finna say, hey, we about to go get married, so it wasn't no need to throw no salt in the game yet.
Yeah.
So then I remember I ended up getting this letter where I had to move from the apartment where I was living at or whatever, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it just was bad news. So I had to move, and I think I had 2 weeks to move. When I found out I had to hurry up and move.
Oh, you had called me about it. You told me about it.
And then I had to move, and it was just like crazy, because where I had to move was still in the same apartment building, but it was just like buildings down. But that still means I had to pack up this whole apartment, and I'm single. Everything by myself and moving. Now, the whole point to me is I couldn't hold it over his head,
or hold
him accountable for not helping him move, even though I told him that really wasn't his problem yet.
But I felt bad though.
But I guess he felt bad in the situation. But if you felt bad, the reaction would have been different. That was my take.
I felt bad and I misunderstood.
Okay, but the reaction would have been different. That was my part. So I was just like, asked everybody. Nobody was willing to help me, and it was just crazy. I was trying to do it by myself. Couldn't get a truck, even though I didn't really need a truck. I just needed a vehicle big enough. Because like I told you, if I had a car, I wouldn't have cared. I moved several times by myself. Seriously, it was just the whole point. Without having a vehicle, I wasn't able to move. You know, which was crazy. So I just did what I did, and I tried walking things over there. That it was toward the end when I did get the help. And I remember I put up a status saying something about
don't care about
nobody
me.
Don't care. But when you can always have your neck out there for other people, them same people don't return the same favor to you.
And I took that as I'm gonna leave her alone. I'm gonna delete her off of Facebook.
He took that as I was talking to him.
I misunderstood.
He took that as I was talking to him, y'all. So I wasn't talking to him. I put the status up, and he and I didn't pay no attention because, like I told you, we was talking on the phone anyway. So I really wasn't looking at Facebook to notice a reaction from the nothing. I just noticed that I stopped hearing from him. So in the midst of that, I noticed that I stopped hearing from him, but I didn't notice it that big of a deal because, like I said, I'm still single, and I guess he had what he had going on over there. And then I had this big thing going on trying to move. And I just felt like, again, everything was God was just testing me to move. And then it was just a whole lot going on. When, like I'm telling you, y'all, it's real. You have to pray. And you have to pray and mean what you're praying about. Really? You have to pray and mean what you're praying about. And you have to be serious. Because like I said, try to do right by others. Because that karma is real. But like I said, I was going through some things. I feel like it was just coming back around. But yet and still, it wasn't nobody in my corner, not even him. Because like I said, I couldn't expect it to be him anyway. Or however he fell off the planet of this earth. I didn't hear from him. And then I remember I went back to work and said, have you been talking to Terry? And I was like, girl, no, I ain't heard from him. She said, here, I said, I ain't heard from him. She said, he back with that girl. And I said, oh, really? I said, oh, that's probably why I ain't hear from him. And then that's when I went and looked on Facebook and saw he deleted me and blocked me on Facebook because I couldn't find his name or nothing like that. And then I realized that I didn't call him or text him after that. But that's when she told me the truth that he, well, the reason he didn't take you to the fair was because she came back in the picture and she wanted some money and he gave it to her. So I was like, oh, okay, bet. You want to move forward in life, you'll be tested like that to see if you're ready. Like if you pray for a wife or a husband, then you'll get tested like with your exes or friends or things that trigger you to just cheat or trigger you to go backwards or things that'll pull you back in. Just to see if you really are ready for what you prayed for.
Started been talking in January.
Yeah, so we didn't talk after the fair because I want to say the fair came around the first week of October for a few weeks. We didn't talk. We did talk the rest because we met September 14th, so we did talk the rest of September, and we did talk toward October. But like I said, we kind of fell off, and he wasn't talking, and I didn't ever beg him to talk to me. Moving on, you asked about me.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You asked about me, and that's when I said, what's up?
Oh.
Because you asked about me in December.
I did ask about
you. Yeah, you asked about me. You said, how Kenzie doing? Because she came to work, and she said, my cousin asked about you. I said, what he asking about me for?
He did. She said
she
that?
did.
I didn't even know that.
She said, that's how I end up, right, you remember?
Oh.
Asked me for like that. So then, I was mad. Because, I don't know, I was mad because I didn't expect that from him. So then, this was I didn't expect that from you. So still, and that January, he was like, I think she went back. When she talked to him, she came to me and he asked about me and she said, my cousin asked about you. My cousin asked about you. And like I said, I'm like, what he asked about me for? Then, I said, well, tell him I said, what's up? So, I think she said, I don't need to tell him what's up. You got his number. I said, no, he deleted me, and I deleted his number too. Like, he ended up writing me.
I did.
And he said, hey. And then I didn't respond back, but I did tell her something smart. She said you said something sweet. I don't remember what it was. That's what led me to be funny and ask you to be my Valentine. Cause you said you were thinking about me, or you was gonna make. He said he was gonna make up for something.
Yeah, I was
Something
making
like
up
that.
making up for the. I guess it was because
It was
of
something
what
you
happened
said.
at the fair.
And anyway,
The
I
fair
told
situation.
her, I said, well, ask him, do he want to be my Valentine? I was really joking, being funny because, there's no rule to say you can't ask him and he needs to ask you, but I knew he was shy and I was just being funny. And so she did ask him. And he said, yeah. And I laughed, not taking it for real. But he wrote me then that night, and he said, well, my cousin said you asked me to be your Valentine. And I said, well, I did ask her, and I was playing or whatever like that. But he was like, I don't mind. I said, okay. So you wrote me,
I did.
and we talked again. This time, this
We
was
did.
2014, January.
Yeah.
And we talked more. Again, is it raining?
No, it ain't raining.
Well, what's that?
Hmm.
What is that?
A sprinkle.
Oh, it's not raining, but it's sprinkling.
Well, we
Oh,
worried about the
anyway.
rain against my window.
But so then he was like, yeah, we talked. He was very apologetic about it. He said he'll make up for it, but I didn't care.
Yeah, I did.
Like I said, we talked and we text on the phone. Like he would text me every morning that I would go to work, and then I would text him. He'll text me while I was at work, and then he'll also stay up because he worked from six in the morning.
I work from it had to be 7 in the morning to
7 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yep.
And I would go in at 11 o'clock in the morning and get off 8:30 at night. So he would stay up and wait for me just so we can talk on the phone. And need I mind you, we would stay up talking on the phone for hours, like on the phone from like, I want to say, let's say 9 o'clock, from 9 o'clock to like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. He really was getting no sleep, but that's when I realized he stayed. But we would talk about so much. Sometimes I felt like he would fall asleep on the phone.
Yeah, I did.
But we stayed on the phone. But in our mind, we both would be tired, and we would do it all over again the next day, and the next day, and the next day. But my sister and I, we was going to go eat at Golden Corral, my sister and my nephew. And I was just like, just call him, because she was like, you can go get him. I don't mind going to get him, and I'll pick him up or whatever like that. So I called him. I texted him, and I said, hey, do you want to go out to eat with us? We about to go to Golden Corral. And he was like, sure, I'll go. So he dropped us the address. We went to go pick him up or whatever. So drop him back off.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we dropped him off, we still continued to text and talk on the phone. And and what was that, January? So then Valentine's Day, little did I know that he was surprising me.
I might as well just make this Valentine's Day special for her. Try to figure out what she wanted, what she liked, whatever it was. And so I went to Walmart. I picked up a big old teddy bear.
That bear was bigger than me, y'all. And I'm a big girl, but I'm only 5'1". I'm very short. So I'm 5'1", so the bear was still huge.
Yeah. So I ain't had no car, so I called my cousin, whom she worked with. And I was like, I want to surprise her for Valentine's Day. Can you come and get me like that? So she like, yeah, like that. So she came, she got me. I went to her job. She was in the kitchen. I guess you were washing dishes.
Yeah, I was washing dishes that day because I did a lot in the kitchen.
Dishes,
I was multitasking at that job.
And like she had on her apron and
My scrubs.
And my cousin like, kids, I got a surprise for you.
Because she was off that day, so I knew, I mean, normally when I worked, she was off, and we had days we worked together, and we had days our schedule would fluctuate differently. And I remember she was off that day, and I had no clue she was going to show up there to bring him up there. So it was just like after we was closing the kitchen down, and that's when he walked through the door. And I remember I was soaking wet because even though I had an apron on, I was soaking wet because, again, I'm short and that water went everywhere and I was still wet. And I was like, I didn't want to be on camera, but it was fun because he had that big, huge teddy bear. That mug was big, and I loved it. And those balloons that neither one of us had a car, but we were still determined that we still did whatever we can to just still date, still try to, talk, be friends. And, but I really love the surprise because he did surprise me and he gave me everything because I love balloons. I love balloons. Every holiday I need balloons. Like he know I love my balloons. We, that's when we end up going on our little, second monster truck dating date, right?
Yeah.
We just kept talking.
When we first met.
Yes.
Not how we got engaged. How we met.
There is no story how we got engaged because how we met is how we got engaged, baby. So anyways, March of 2014, and that's why I said it looks like roller coaster. We moved a little too fast. But
I was 27.
Look at us now. So anyways, after we met like that and we dated, I remember I went to work and came home and I prayed and I was just like, Lord, I don't know. And I did go to him and I just said, okay, I don't mind being your girlfriend or whatever like that. And he was happy and we kissed or whatever. And then not knowing behind the scenes, he had already talked with my mom and my sister because like I said, my dad passed away. He's not here. So he talked with my mom, talked with my sister, and he was planning. He was getting the ring and everything like that.
Like, look. Wow, they shoot. What they telling their life story?
Okay, so if the video would have been captioned how we met and we just said we met at the mall, okay, that's the end of the video. Thank y'all for watching.
Sheesh.
Now come on, that is not how that's supposed to go.
Hey,
it's a story time. Could y'all tell him?
I know it's story time, but darn.
Look, I wish I could just edit him just out just now.
Well, I'm
Story
already out the camera.
That's because you tuned it out. Story time. Everybody know when you tell a story, it's a story that, right? Okay, he'll get it. Story time prolonged. That's why you give detail. That's why when we did the introduction video, I said what I said. I said, that's another story. We're telling them the full story of how we met in 2013 that led up into us getting married in 2014.
Well, you said how we first met.
This is how we met.
Well, you didn't say how we got married.
Because I'm not even going to sit here and go back and forward with him, a person who can't even stay in the visuals. Anyway, like I said, so anyway, we dated or whatever.
How we got engaged.
So then, y'all.
Told me how we met.
Ooh. So anyway, this is what I realized I have to deal with, y'all, for real. You can't edit him. Can't edit him. He do too much.
I don't do too much.
Old school. Again, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I tell you, man, baby, man. Anyway, we're gonna go and wrap this video up. We thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to subscribe to the Real McCoy's Kingdom. Hit that thumbs up, like this video, share it.
I don't know about sharing it. An hour long.
It doesn't matter. If they interested in us, they interested in watching this whole hour video. Don't skip through no parts because to me it was funny. To me it's just like a story that you know that love at first sight, love at first sight, y'all. Was that love at first sight? You remember on the introduction video when I stated that? It kind of was, but
Lo and behold.
Let us know, if you think we may have left off anything. You guys still have any questions? Because the next video we may do is question and answer, just answering questions. But so subscribe to our channel if you want to see more footage of he and I.
The story time, yeah.
Y'all, I'm gonna end this video because he about to get in some trouble off this camera for real. But again, thanks you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a blessed
be
week.
Blessed, please.
And remember to be
encouraged.
And we're out. Bye.
Peace.